Hello everyone and welcome. This is Crystal from crystalscraftandstuff.blogspot.com, and this is card 1 in my Christmas card series. So here I'm using a stamp from the greeting form, and this is from the Cheeky Xmas set. I inked her up with Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I stamped her onto CC Design Copic Quality White 110-pound cardstock. So there I just put some mineral spirits into a little dish and get my blending stumps ready, and I'm going to go ahead and color her in using my Prismacolor pencils. Now when I use my Prismacolors, I start with my lightest and work my way to my darkest, and then I'll add in a little bit more shading of my lightest, and then I'll just go ahead and blend that out, as you can see here. I do want to say that with this card here, with this image here, I went ahead and I colored her Santa suit just a little bit darker than what I normally would. And the reason behind that is because I'm using the Lost and Found Christmas pad from My Mind's Eye, and it's more of a vintage feel to it. And because it is vintage, I wanted to make it darker. I colored her, first of all, the Santa suit brighter, and it just wasn't working very well with the whole color palette. So for the Santa suit, I used Tuscan Red and Carmine Red. And then for her skin tones, I used peach and light peach. And when I do my coloring, I put a little bit of color down, and then if I need to go back, I can always add more. That's one thing nice with the Prismacolors. You always just want to add a little bit, and then if you need it darker, go back and do some more, go back and put some more color down. And then there I used the Parma Violet for her eyeshadow. And now with the hair, I am using Spanish Orange and Goldenrod. And I'm just going to go ahead, put some color down and blend that out, and then shade everything in. And also for the white parts on the Santa hat and the Santa suit, I colored it in with cream. And the reason behind that is, again, is because it is a vintage style paper pad. I wanted, the white was too bright. So I also do want to say that I am by far no expert at all with coloring these images. I just started, so I'm a beginner. So this is just the way I do it. There's many talented people on YouTube that color a lot better than me. As soon as I can get the hair down, I'll feel a little bit better. But the hair was just a little bit of a challenge for me. And my battery is gonna die here, so you're not gonna finish seeing me blend all this out. But here is a picture of it being done, the cream all blended. And I'm gonna go ahead now, and I'm just putting some post-its down, and I'm gonna create a mask, and then I'm gonna go ahead and fussy cut out this image. At the end of this video, I'll have a picture of all the numbers for the colors that I used for this. And then here, after I got that fussy cut it out, I decided that I needed to put down a little bit of color down here just to ground her so she wasn't like floating all around. So I went ahead and I used, I think, Cool Gray 70 for this. So I'm going to go ahead and just get that blended out. And I'm going to go ahead and put my mask down. And then I decided to go ahead and put some snowflake stamps down behind her. And for that, I am using the color box, and I'm using silver, and it's the pigment ink. And I use the pigment ink because I'm going to be using some embossing powder, which you're going to see next here. And it's the Rainbow Sparkle embossing powder by Ranger. And all it does is it's just going to give it a hint of glitter to it. Nothing major, just a little bit. But that's why I use the pigment ink, because it stays wetter longer, and then the embossing powder will stick to it. So here I am just heating up the embossing powder. And you really can't see it on camera, but it does give it a very nice little sparkle to it. So because, again, this is a vintage type card, I am tearing all the edges off, and I'm just leaving it that way. And then I'm going in with my distress ink with old paper, and I'm inking the image, or inking the white part. Again, because it is vintage, the white was too bright for it. It just was not looking right. So I decided to go in with the distress ink. And there I just took the scissors to that side just a little bit, just to grunge it up a little bit more. So I'm starting off my paper and working my way on and into the image. And of course, because because I'm doing this, it's starting off darker on the edges, and as I move towards the image, it gets lighter. But yet it was light enough to where it made the paper look old. So that was really cute. So here for my card, I already went ahead and I pre-cut all of my pages that I wanted to use. And again, I'm using a Lost and Found Christmas by My Mind's Eye. And I'm just going ahead and adhering my top layer to my second layer. And then just deciding on what I wanted to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on that layer and adhere it to my card front. My ATG gun ran out there, so I had to look for some adhesive I had because I didn't feel like loading an ATG gun again. So here I'm stamping out all I want for Christmas, and then my next stamp is going to be Santa's Naughty List. And these were stamps that I made myself using my Teresa Collins stamp maker. I love that machine. Once you can actually make your own transparencies for that, it's really easy. So here again, because I'm going back in with my distress ink with the old paper and just putting it all around there, just to make everything match on the card. And I went ahead and I cut that down to size, and then I cut out that little notch there for the banner look. And then I'm just inking the edge around that real quickly here, and then just lining it up to see how I want to make sure everything's going to fit there. Went ahead and glued it all down. So then for the inside of the card, I just used the scraps from the front of the card and used it on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this layer together. And I just taped those two together on that back end like that, because they were just scraps. And then I'm going to adhere this down and cut off the extra off the side. And then the next sheet you're going to see, I went ahead, and that paper is from the paper collection, and I had just used Color Box in Dune. It's a very, very light tan color, and I just stamped it onto there so you can write your sentiment right onto there. But it was still, bright enough that you can see it, but light enough that you can go ahead and just cover it up. And then I went in with my distress ink again with the old paper and inked her up like I did with the front, just to make everything match and look good together. And then just going to go ahead and adhere everything down. This was a very simple card to make. Very, very simple. So what I'm doing now is I am putting on some pearls, some flat back pearls. They were supposed to be sticky, but all the adhesive stuck to the acetate, and I had to go in and use some glossy accents to put on there. But those pearls are called, I think, ruby red flat back pearls. And I just put some in the two top corners right there. And then I put 2 dots on the bottom part of the banner, on like each end little thing. And then these pearls were a pain to work with. I was so mad that all the stickiness stuck to the acetate. I hate messing with little things like that, especially when you have big hands. It's hard. And I've tried the tweezers. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So there, you just see me sticking those 2 pearls on the bottom like I said I was going to do. And sorry that I'm off frame a little bit there. And then what I'm going to do next is go ahead in with some stickles, and I think these are, let's see, they're diamond or crystal stickles. So, and I went through and I did all the areas that I previously colored cream, which naturally would be the white. I just went in and added some diamond stickles to it. Very simple. So that's the inside and that's the front. Very simple card, very easy to make. I want to thank you very much for watching, and um, stay tuned for part or my second Christmas card. Thanks everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Ring silver bells, sing silver bells, ring silver bells, sing silver bells. Hark, hear the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong,